The USF musical is starting, auditing and tax students are doing a Christmas fundraiser, and students give their opinion on Black Friday.
All this and more coming up next on College Week.
From the McDonald Center on the campus of the University of Sioux Falls, this is College Week with Dylan Dwyer, Jaden Buchelman, and Sports with Miranda Kane.
Good morning, I'm Jaden Buchelman.
And I'm Dylan Dwyer. Thanks for joining us.
So Dylan, we have the USF musical coming up. Is it next week?
Yes, it is.
Do you think you'll be going to that at all?
I certainly will be attending, maybe even 2 nights.
Really? You must be a big musical junkie.
Well, I like to appreciate all the work that our fellow students have been putting in for all these months, so I think I'm going to enjoy it.
I didn't know that about you, that you liked musicals.
Not many people do.
That's interesting. So tell us more about it and when the dates are for that.
I will do so. The USF Theater Department will be performing the Broadway favorite, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, beginning this weekend. The musical is a delightful satire of corporate life and office politics, packed with memorable songs and dancing. Performances run from November 15th through the 17th and November 22nd through the 24th. For showtimes and ticket prices, contact Julia Owens at julia.owens@usiouxfalls.edu or call 605-331-6637.
South Dakota loyalties will be split this weekend as 2 Division I schools battle on the football field. The University of South Dakota Coyotes host the South Dakota State University Jackrabbits at the Dakota Dome on Saturday at 1 p.m. To share their allegiance, South Dakota fans located throughout the world can place a colored pin on a map to indicate which team they are rooting for. The Color the Map project is created by the Argus Leader. Fans can visit the Argus Leader website to show their support for either the Coyotes or the Jackrabbits.
Jaden, I know you're a big football fan. Who do you have going in that game?
I've always been an SDSU fan over the Coyotes. I don't really know why. So I actually did go on and place a pin, a blue pin. So you're from Colorado, so you probably don't have much stock in this.
I don't have a special connection with either of those teams, but I still enjoy football.
Yep, it should be a fun game.
USF auditing and tax students are organizing a Christmas fundraiser for the Avera Children's Hospital. The students are collecting coloring books, crayons, markers, and paint supplies. Items can be donated at the Christmas tree located at the 2nd floor of the Cleveland building.
This past Friday and Monday, the University of Sioux Falls held a campus preview day. Irene Samaniego was there to report on it.
I'm an admissions ambassador for the University of Sioux Falls, which means I give tours and help out on prospective student days and just kind of there for the students, answer any questions. Seems like students like talking to other students more than they like talking to adults or faculty, so it just makes it a little easier for them.
This past Friday and Monday, University of Sioux Falls held a campus preview for prospective students. Carolina Garcia from Washington High School told us what she was excited for on her campus visit.
I'm just really excited to just get to know the whole place and really just get more information about what I want to do in college.
USF Provost Dr. Brett Bradfield told the prospective students and their parents that he believes that the University of Sioux Falls is the right fit for them. When asked what she was looking for in a college, Carolina Garcia told College Week that she wanted an easy environment to learn in.
I'm looking for a comfortable environment where I guess it's really easy for me to learn.
Ryan Berkman talks about how helpful the faculty is on campus and how they are always there for you.
How amazing our faculty is and our teachers and how much they help you. When I first came to college, I was so scared that I wasn't going to pass my math or my science class, but our professors are phenomenal. They help you, they're always there for you. I'm pretty confident that you'll never fail a class on this campus if you just keep talking to your teacher, because they're awesome.
He also highlights one of the University of Sioux Falls' best attributes, which is our community.
Our community at USF, I really love to highlight that, and how everybody's kind of got each other's backs on this campus. You kind of know everybody. You usually get a hi or a good morning from just about every person you see, which is different as compared to other places that you go where everybody's heads are kind of down sometimes. Or just, you know, we're just a very loving community, and that's a big thing I highlight.
We have your back, USF. With College Week, this is Irene Samaniego.
As technology evolves, libraries have to adapt. Eric Carlson has more on the story.
It's difficult to argue that recent technology has helped to shape our lives. Yet how does it shape our learning? more specifically, reading. In the not-so-distant past, libraries were filled with curious minds. Today, it's the Kindle, the Nook, and the new iBook that's changing how we think and interact with books.
We're still evolving because we're still doing more and more stuff online. For instance, ebooks, audio downloads, magazine downloads, so you don't even have to step foot in the building anymore. I see us doing more and more of that.
Yet even though a certain population has chosen to remain at home, a new population has taken its place.
It's the people that don't have the technology or can't afford the technology, they're still going to want the physical space and need this physical space for the computer or for the access for, social networking and still being connected.
In the past, we connected to the outside world through newspapers, DVDs, and tapes. Now the library has a new idea.
I see us more as more branches and more as a place for people to congregate, for people who don't have access in their general life. But I also see us with the programming piece that we've really been pushing, that we're going to be more of a come see what the library has, because they're doing a program on music or they're doing a program on a movie film series and things like that. That's where I see us moving.
So for the Ronning Branch Library here in Sioux Falls, it's just another example of how we adapt to stay connected through technology. For USF College Week, I'm Eric Carlson.
Coming up next, students have the opportunity to learn leadership skills.
Don't go away. This spring, students have the opportunity to take a course in leadership dynamics. This course will focus on the practice of leadership in organizations of all kinds in any field. Students will have the chance to identify their own leadership strengths and create a personal leadership development plan. This class is offered as part of the leadership minor, which all students are invited to pursue.
This interim, students have the opportunity to road trip from Sioux Falls to New Orleans while all earning school credit. Before the trip, students will participate in a 2-week online module that addresses American literature and culture surrounding the Mississippi River and the road they will eventually travel. Joining 2 quintessential American elements, the river and the road trip, this class will explore some of the literature surrounding the geography and iconography of the river and its means to journey. Contact English professor Jenny Bangsund for more details.
Well, J-term is always a fun time to do something a little bit different. What are your J-term plans this year?
Well, during J-term, the baseball team practices at 5 a.m. every single morning.
Sounds fun. So you probably can't go anywhere, but have you signed up for a class yet?
Yep, all my classes are good to go. I'm ready for the semester.
Sounds good. But I guess before we have interim, we have other things to look forward to, like Thanksgiving. With Thanksgiving break coming up, this also brings the anticipation of Black Friday. Students express their opinions on a day that is beginning to overshadow a holiday of thankfulness.
Black Friday is a day where America eats its own consumerism for dinner and literally stampedes each other to get more things. Just the concept of it in general is pretty sick nasty to me.
We spend the whole day of Thanksgiving being thankful for what we have and satisfied with what we have, and then the next day we go out and completely purchase a lot of new things and blow our money on materialistic things when we were just being thankful for our blessings.
As a retail worker, it's really frustrating because this year they're opening at 8 and I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever. It stops people from being able to go home with their families for breaks, so it just really makes me angry.
Black Friday is really taken away from the time you get to spend with your family, and I just really think people are trying to make as much money as they can, and by pushing it forward, it's just creating more opportunities for them to grow financially, but to lessen the time with families. So
the fact that Black Friday is on Thanksgiving this year just kind of throws me for a loop. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I think it should be more of a family day. I just don't really like it being centered around materialistic things. I think it should be being thankful for what we already do have and not trying to get more things.
It's scary, that's what it is. Well, I heard that Black Friday is now moving into Thanksgiving, which is frustrating for me because Thanksgiving is usually a time where, me and my family can hang out and relax, and it's turned it into a time when people have to work instead of being able to be with their families.
And I think it also just shows how addicted we are to wanting more and to never having enough.
KCFS has a familiar face running this station, and College Week's Tanner Wangsness caught up with Zach Dresch to talk about what he has in store for this year.
Every Monday from 4 to 7, you can hear the sound of metal coming from inside the booth of KCFS. Zach Dresch is the host of Metal Monday, and he's also the new manager of the campus radio station. And we caught up with him to talk about what's in store for KCFS this year.
I think this year we've gotten way more people wanting to do radio than I anticipated, which is awesome. Because last year there were people that wanted to do it, but not enough. We need a wide variety to say that we are a varied station instead of just one genre. And so I think we've accomplished that really well this semester, and I think the rest of the year will be very exciting.
You can see Zach in the booth at times other than during his shows.
I join a lot of people in their shows because I enjoy it, and I like to make sure that they're feeling comfortable doing the shows at the station. I want them to get nervous, or my main thing this year is I want to make sure everyone feels comfortable on air. And I feel like that was kind of lacking the years past. People weren't, it took them a long time. I want them to feel comfortable right away.
And it's not just people from the Sioux Empire tuning in.
I've had the Spill Canvas on air this past summer, and I got a huge response from that. I got people from Seattle and Canada and Oklahoma calling in, asking questions, and that was surreal for me. I was like, whoa, people are actually listening to me.
We asked Zach why he thought people wanted to listen to KCFS.
I think people want to listen to KCFS because we play stuff that no one else does. We are always willing to play everything, and most stations don't want to do that. They just want to play the same few songs, or they want to stick to one certain, here's our little box, we're going to play just this, and that'll be it. But I want us to expand upon that. I want us to think outside the box and play anything we can, even if it's the weirdest thing you've ever heard. As long as it's air appropriate, play it. You know, I think to be as original as possible, that's the KCFS. That's my mission for KCFS 94.5's goal, I'd say.
You can hear Zach on Mondays from 4 to 7 for Metal Monday, Thursdays at 7, and Fridays from 5 to 8. And for USF College Week, I'm Tanner Wangsness.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, folks.
The Empire Mall will be hosting a gift wrapping booth for the Children's Inn this holiday season. Children's Inn is a nonprofit organization that provides free services for women, children, and men who are victims of abuse, neglect, or sexual assault. Volunteers are needed and shifts are available from November 29th to December 24th. To sign up, call Stacy or Sydney at 605-338-0116 or email sydney.hunt@chssd.org.
Coming up next is Java Talk with Eric Carlson.
We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome to Java Talk. I'm your host, Eric Carlson. And we're sitting down here today with Rachel Crowley, who is the Director of Library Services here at USF. And you've held that position for 2 years, you said?
It's almost.
Almost 2 years. So what kind of changes have you seen just in these 2 years at the library?
Actually, my first year, I really spent the time observing and looking and trying to figure out what the students need at USF and what the faculty and staff need. Probably one of the biggest things that we have done in the library is tried to increase instruction sessions. So I would go out to classes and help students learn the skills that they need to do for research. And so that's been one of the focuses that we've had in the library, but we've done quite a bit in the last year.
That's good to know. That might be something people might not know. And speaking of things that people might not know, I think when people think about the library, at least I do when somebody mentions library, I think about books, and that's really all I think about. So now that we've got, e-books and, the Kindle and all those types of things, do we still see students coming into the library even though they've got access to all the internet and web?
Well, the library has two places, the virtual and the physical. And when I want them to go to both, but some people don't actually need to come into the library to find the resources that they need. However, we don't really see let me just say our gate count is about 3,800 per week. So we do actually have people coming into the library using our computer lab, coming in and using our resources, but most people in their research, they use more current periodicals, so they are using more of the online information for that. Now, if we talk about books, we do actually have a lot of students checking out books. You just don't maybe see it in the library. We have about 80,000 print materials in the library, and they do get used. We have about, I can give you statistics, but we actually have about 7,000 books actually being checked out a year, so that's not too bad. Circulation is down a little bit, but I think it is mostly because people want current information, and they do tend to go to periodicals.
Wow, so that's still quite a few books.
Yeah.
So you said a lot of the students seem to attend more in the evening maybe than during the day, and that's not typical of what we had seen in the past.
Right.
So looking forward, what do you think the library is going to evolve into or change, if it's going to at all?
Well, I think the library will always be a place. I mean, basically it connects the old technology with the new technology. Like I said, we have a computer lab that people can come in and do research and print for free. But it is the one place that students can gather and collaborate on information. And it's a place that students to go to have a quiet area. So what we're trying to do is meet the needs of all the students in what we do. And so I don't believe the library as a place is ever going to go away. I just think it's going to be evolving, just like we see the formats in the different materials that we own. They're evolving.
Right, so we're not really looking at the extinction of the library.
I don't think
just
so,
because,
not in any.
Yeah, just because we have access to the web.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here with us today, Rachel. It was very nice to have you down here. Is there anything else that maybe the students maybe might want to know about the library, like maybe events coming up?
Yes, we do have a very special event coming up in the library. The library is going to display the St. John's Bible Heritage Editions, which is a reproduction of the St. John's Bible. It's a hand-illuminated Bible that took 15 years to complete. And we had a speaker on campus last week, and it is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And it is an illuminated Bible. Hasn't been done in the last 500 years. So this is a very special event. We'll be having some programs on campus, and we're really looking forward. We have a lot of people on campus that are very interested in coming and actually seeing the Bible. So
Well, I might have to mark my calendar.
You will. It is beautiful. It is just wonderful.
Well, thank you again for joining us here today on Java Talk. We really appreciate you being here and giving us some good insight.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you, too, for joining us here on Java Talk this morning. We hope you guys have a good day. Coming up next is sports with Miranda Kane.
And now we'll look at sports with Miranda Kane.
Hey Miranda, well, you're on the softball team and you guys have been doing workouts all year with a new coach. Tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Well, we're working really hard. We run or lift every day, and coach she's a great asset for the program, and looking forward to it.
Great, that's good to hear.
Well, it's not softball season just yet, so we'll have to hear about some current sports right now.
Yep. Well, the USF women's volleyball team, 18-10, 9-9 in the NSIC, doesn't seem to know the meaning of the word quit. The Cougars continue to dominate the court, collecting a hard-fought 4-set victory over Minot State Saturday afternoon. USF lost the first set, 21-25, before coming back to take the next 3 for a win by a score of 25-23, 25-20, and 25-21. The Cougars were led by seniors Alexa Reed and Andrea Odbert with 55 assists and a matching high 20 digs, respectively. The USF women have won 3 straight matches and currently have a claim on 7th place in the league, with 2 more matches to go in the regular season. The league's top 8 teams will advance to the U.S. Bank NSIC Volleyball postseason tournament. The USF men's cross-country team has officially qualified for the NCAA Division II National Championships for the first time in school history. Billy Brockmuller led the team with a 31-47-27 10K run, good enough for a 6th place finish. Matthew Oron crossed the line just 2 seconds later for 7th. Bobby Brockmuller, Ethan Tabart, and Cody Herman rounded out USF runners, finishing 15th, 54th, and 64th. Combined, the team would finish in 5th place, edging out Southwest Baptist by 3 points. USF will head to Spokane, Washington for the NCAA National Championships, to be held on November 23rd. Soccer season may be over, but the awards are just beginning. USF senior Corinne Crook received all-conference honors as goalkeeper for the USF women's soccer team. Cook received honorable mention after a 2-year career as a starter for the Cougars. Cook notched 99 saves on 274 shots in her final season, as she bumped her career save total to 181, and would finish with a 2.74 career goals against average. Prior to playing for USF, the Woodbury, Minnesota native played 2 years at Pratt Community College. She currently holds Pratt's record for most games and minutes played, most shoutouts, and most saves in a game. Well, it's tip-off time here at USF. The USF men's basketball team, 1-0, won their season opener on Saturday, beating Wisconsin Superior 0-1 by a score of 93-69 for a very convincing win. It was the third straight opening night win for the Cougars, bumping head coach Chris Johnson's career season kickoff record to 3-3. The Cougars were led in scoring by junior guard Mahone Jones, 15 points. Jones would hit 5 of 7 attempts from the field. Brian Kalepsby would finish with 13 points, and 4 other players would also notch double digits on defense. The USF men would limit UW Superior to just 35.5%, including just 6 of 23 three-point attempts. USF will continue non-conference play this Saturday night as they travel to the South Dakota Schools of Mine and Technology. And for more on USF men's basketball, here's College Week's Dylan Dwyer.
Hi, I'm sitting down with Brian Kilpinski, a USF redshirt junior. We're here to discuss the upcoming basketball season. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your first game?
Well, we just had our first game on Saturday, and the Bullets were live, so it was nice seeing how we actually played together in our first real game. We saw we could really score the ball, but we also found a lot of things we needed to get better on.
A few things you need to get better on. Why don't you tell us a few of those things that maybe you've been working on since then?
We've been working a lot on defense transition, just staying disciplined to our principles.
That's good. So it seems as though now that you're kind of an upperclassman, you have more of a leadership role on the team. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, clearly my first year here at USF, I was a redshirt freshman, and I practiced every day and didn't get to play. Through the years, I've been a hustle guy and a defensive player, but now that I'm an upperclassman, I'm a little stronger and more of a scorer. So they looked for me to be a leadership role and to possibly score more and defense.
Well, one way I know that you do score, and you showcase it many times in this last game, is that you can throw down a dunk or two. Is that true?
I had a couple, I guess.
Well, here's the thing, is a couple years ago I interviewed Alex Roby, your teammate, and we played a game of one-on-one. I was thinking maybe you could show us a few dunks and then maybe play me one-on-one. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
And that's a wrap on sports. I'm Miranda Kane.
Well, that's it for news this week. What can we look forward to next week on Java Talk, Eric?
Well, Donovan Minor's keeping a close lid on Java Talk next week, so probably something special.
Sounds great. Well, we only have a few weeks left before Thanksgiving and the semester ends, so I know we're all getting antsy. But that's it for this week, and until next week, I'm Jaden Buchelman.
I'm Eric Carlson.
And I'm Dylan Dwyer. Thanks for joining us.